How are we doing, guys? Always to be Luton versus Leeds match preview of the game. So football's back. After the international break, football is finally back. Thankfully, there's no international break now until March. It just always comes at a bad time for us, doesn't it? It always comes at a bad time for us. I think this season particularly, the way it's come this time around has been really bad for us. Obviously I think really since the last international break, we've really built up some momentum. We've taken 11 points from 5 games. We've shown great mentality, we've shown great fighting spirit. I think we've shown a spirit that we didn't show at the start of the season. I think when things were going against us at the start of the season, we faltered a lot. And I think this season now, last couple of weeks, against Preston, against Sheffield Wednesday, had bad moments in the games, but still got something out of the games. Showed the fighting spirit to come back in both games. Obviously Birmingham, Blackburn, QPR, all home games, won all 3 of our home games. We showed a great spirit to ourselves. Maybe performance-wise, other than Preston, other than QPR, we weren't at our absolute best. Let's be honest, we weren't at our absolute best. But there was massive progress, I think, in the last 5 games. The last couple of weeks before this international break, we've made massive progress. I think it's all about maintaining that momentum. I'll say a lot of cliches, etc., but I think it did come up at a bad time for us. In terms of the international break itself, obviously England got themselves 2 good wins. Wales got themselves into the Euros as well. So Tyler Roberts is going to be playing at the Euros too, which is brilliant stuff. But hopefully it doesn't put Tyler Roberts in the shop window. That's the I think that's the main thing for me. And yeah, of course, Ireland, Northern Ireland, Republic of Ireland, and Scotland will all be going to the playoffs. So it's been quite an interesting international break. I went to watch my local club Southport on last Saturday, so it does have its benefits. But in terms of for Leeds itself, it really doesn't have benefits this season. We just want to keep that momentum going as much as we can. But it's a tough week, it's a tough week where I think the expectation's high. Luton away, Reading away, Middlesbrough home. I think the expectation is a couple of wins. I know, but it's not going to be that easy. It's never that easy in the Championship. It doesn't need to be said. I think if we can get ourselves 6 or 7 points from this week, we have to take that. We have to take that. If we get ourselves an away win, a home win, a draw, I think that'd represent a really good week. But yeah, I think a look at this game against Luton, I think this is a tough game. I know Luton have lost the last 4 games. They're hovering just above that relegation zone. I know the form, there's a massive difference between ourselves and Luton at the minute, but this is still a tough game. This is still a game which traditionally we have struggled with, but I think it really will tell of any serious progress if we can get a win in this game. I think it will be massive progress for the team. Not just to the fact that it's a tough place to go. I think it's the fact that they play a system that's difficult for us to cope with. They play a 4-4-2 diamond. They're very loyal to that diamond. I think since sort of Nathan Jones took over about 2 or 3 years ago, they've had massive progress with the diamond, and Graham Jones has stuck with that system as well. So it's a tough challenge from that point of view, and the fact that they're going to play 2 strikers, we're going to naturally go back to our back 3 system. But then you've got 4 central midfielders in effect in the 4-4-2 diamond. Very much tuck the wingers inside, and the wingers are more like central midfielders for Luton. So we've got that challenge in the sense that we could be outnumbered in the middle of the park. How we're going to deal with that. And it is a good challenge from that point of view. If we can win this kind of game, because it's going to be a big test. It's not going to be an easy game. I know Luton are on a bad run. I know they've had some poor home results. They got hammered last time out at Reading. I'm not reading too much into that. I feel it's a very tough game. They've got good individual players as well. Look at Izzy Brown. Izzy Brown, I think, is one of the top assist makers in the league. Okay, it didn't happen from here, but he's undeniably a talented footballer. We've seen that to our cost a lot. He always seems to play particularly well against us. I'm talking about his loan spell at Rotherham, his loan spell at Huddersfield. He always turns up against us. It's going to be a tough test. It'll be interesting to battle against KP. Okay, on paper, you back KP to win that battle all day long. But then you've got other players as well playing around. Izzy Brown, it could be a case where we get a little bit outnumbered in the middle of the park. We have got the quality to counter that. That is something we have to deal with. Something we've got to potentially have a look at. And then of course you've got James Collins as well up top, good striker. He's consistently scored goals, albeit at a lower level, but he has taken that goal scoring form into the Championship as well. Okay, the goals have dried up a little bit last couple of weeks, but they're 2 players to look at in particular, and I think they could potentially do damage. I don't think Luton are particularly great at the back. Playing a 4-4-2 diamond, very reliant on the fullbacks to get forward and provide the width. I don't think the fullbacks, the current options, are really doing that for them. I think last season they had Jack Stacey, James Justin, both players gone on to the Premier League. They've lost those 2 players who were a massive part of that system last season, and since the sort of like rise into the Championship, they've lost those 2 players. And I think looking at like sort of Luton forums, Luton Twitter, etc., I think that's a general consensus that they are missing those 2 fullbacks who push forward and create chances. But don't make any mistake here. You know, Luton are a good team. Luton are a good team who play football. They're very much an on-the-ball team. You know, defensively, they're going to try and test us. They're not going to sit back. They're very much an on-the-ball team who want to play football. You know, they're very clear in their sort of identity. Whether that could potentially leave gaps at the back. You know, look at Helder Costa, Jack Harrison using the pace to get in behind. And on counter-attacks, you know, we've got that benefit as well. Tyler Roberts as well, through the middle on counter-attacks as well. But it's still going to be a very, very tough game, this. You know, I think in terms of our setup, I think we're going to do something similar against QPR. You know, I think it's going to be more of a lopsided kind of system. I think it's going to be a free, sort of that 3-2-4-1 we saw against QPR. You know, we've got Dallas playing sort of like a free role between a right wing back and a left wing back. That's if Stuart Dallas is fit, by the way. You know, Stuart Dallas didn't play the last qualifier for Northern Ireland against Germany. He was left out after I think he hobbled off against Holland, I think it was. I'm not sure we've got the exact injury was there, but he could be a doubt. I think Liam Cooper, we have to remember, Liam Cooper came off injured with 20 minutes to go last time out against Blackburn, and actually missed Scotland's international duty. So they're two potential injury doubts. I'm filming this before the Bielsa presser, so if I've got this wrong, I apologise, guys, but I think as far as I'm aware, they're the two doubts. Hopefully people like Adam Forshaw, Jim Shackleton might well be back, who knows. That will be a bonus. I wouldn't necessarily have them going straight back in, but the good options off the bench in games like this. You know, it's a tough place to go, Luton. You know, you need experienced heads like Adam Forshaw available in these type of away games, especially when we've got such a tight schedule coming up. I think rotation might need to play a part. You know, and Adam Forshaw is a fantastic rotation option, as is Jamie Shackleton. We need these options back in the team. Eddie Nketiah as well. You know, we need to obviously see what the update is on Eddie Nketiah. So we could potentially have good options coming in for this game or in future games. You know, it's big that we have these options now because the games are coming thick and fast. You know, I think it's 10, 12 games over the next sort of month and a half. It's going to be intense. You know, the style of football we play as well. It's going to be a real test for the squad. You know, maintaining that kind of intensity over all these games. You know, giving it 110% every single game. It's going to be a test. And last season we found that really tough towards the end of the season. You know, and I think that's why it's so key that we, you know, get these players back from injury. I know, of course, injuries are part of the game. We're losing. We have, you know, okay, it's not been as bad as last season, but it's still playing a part. You know, still playing a part. You look at the bench against Blackburn. There's still a little bit of inexperience on the bench. We need these other options as well coming into the team. But for me, the setup for me, I think, will be a 3-2-4-1, assuming Cooper and Dallas are back. If not, you're probably looking at people like Berardi coming into the team, possibly Barry Douglas as well as a fullback option, or maybe even Leif Davis. So I think for me, it's going to be something like Kiko Casilla, then probably a back three of Ayling, White, and then Berardi or Cooper, depending on whether or not Cooper's fit. Then probably sort of like two screening midfielders in front, Calvin playing as an out-and-out holding midfielder, and then Stuart Dallas sort of playing as a right wing back, but kind of not being strict to that position. You know, we saw it against QPR, you know, against Arachibi Easy. You know, very similar type of player to Izzy Brown in terms of number 10. It just floats around the box, you know, just sort of goes from the left wing to the right wing to this number 10 role. He doesn't really have a specific position as such. Possibly we're going to see Stuart Dallas trying to cover him there. This is just a guess purely but on the basis that I think Luton are going to pack the midfield. I think we've got to respond the same way. And I think Bielsa will respond the same way. You know, he's done this last time against QPR when they tried to play a similar system. Was set up in a sort of a way that was very sort of like midfielder heavy rather than, you know, we didn't really have much width out wide as such. And I think probably most likely Helder Costa on the right wing. There is an argument to bring back Pablo, but I think probably I'd be more tempted to bring back Pablo for the Reading game. I think this game's probably more of a Helder Costa game in the sense that there's counter-attacking opportunities against this Luton team. They're going to attack us, going to leave spaces. They're a very open team. Then Jack Harrison on the left, sort of playing that sort of like left wing, sort of left wing back role. And then Mateus Click, Tyler Roberts sort of as a midfield two as such, with Patrick Bamford just ahead of them. So I think it's still going to be an attack-minded team. I think we're just going to try and counteract that midfield slight imbalance. You know, Luton having sort of like four in the middle. We're going to try and match that as much as we can, I think. That's just my personal opinion. I might be totally wrong here, guys, but I'm anticipating personally that we're going to go to a back three with Luton going two up top. I'm going to try and go midfielder heavy. I can't see it being a 3-3-1-3. Certainly not if Stuart Dallas isn't available. You know, I think we're going to go very midfielder heavy in this game. I think we need to. You know, because if you have sort of like a 4v2 situation, going that 3-3-1-3, you know, having one holding midfielder like Calvin, then a number 10 of either Mateus Click or Tyler Roberts, it's 4v2 situations. We'll get outnumbered and overrun in that midfield. Then again, you know, we'll cover the striker problem with three at the back. So for me, without waffling too much, I think that's going to be what the team is personally. And I'd like that team, you know, I'd like a lopsided system. I think Luton would struggle with us having that extra width on the right hand side with Stuart Dallas, you know, with them being very much a tucked in. And yeah, I think opportunities will arise from that. You know, I think obviously Stuart Dallas is very attack minded. And yeah, you know, obviously you've got options like Leeds Davies and Barry Douglas possibly on the other side as well. So I think that's personally what the team I'm going to go with. I can't see any changes to personnel unless we've got injuries. I can't see any way we would make a change to personnel unless we've got an injury. I think this is the 11 Bielsa wants now. The 11 Bielsa feels most comfortable with at the moment, absolutely no doubt about it. I don't think it matters who we play, what formation we play, this will be the team we play, and that's fair enough. You know, we've been much improved since this team's come into play. We've started playing these 11 players. It's fair that they're getting rewarded for the performances. But guys, I'm going to leave it there. This is going to be a tough game. Do not underestimate Luton. You know, we've played games like this last season. QPR, Birmingham come straight to mind straight away. They were on the back of like 5-6 game losing runs. Luton on a similar run. This is the test. This is the chance to show we really are making an extra progress from last season. You know, this is the type of game where you look at and you think, last season we don't win this game. This season, can we make a change? Have we improved that much to win this game? But guys, it's going to be a big test. It's a big week. I'm going to leave it there, guys, anyway. So make sure you check out Conor and Joe's match previews of the game. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I've been Oscar Marriott. See you later.